What's up, everyone? Back with another one. Finally getting over this brutal flu. Might still be coughing a little bit in this one. But, yeah, welcome back. This is kind of, it's gonna have sort of an ad-like quality because I'm gonna be, I'm essentially going to be hyping up my two new projects that I've got going. But I'm not just going to be hyping them up. I actually am going to talk about some of the deeper things at work with the two things, Psalm Zero versus Nothing Human. The reason I want to do it is just because, whenever there's an album cycle, you want to do interviews, you get to do some interviews, but there's this rushed quality. You got to just say everything in this little amount of time, fit it in with the questions you're being asked. And also, no offense to journalists, especially yes, offense to some journalists, but without being ungrateful or disrespectful of journalists who cover me, the questions are not always what I really want to talk about, or they have to keep it kind of simple. They have to keep it within what their audience is going to want to hear, and they can't really go off-road with shit. And also, I wanted to talk about Psalm Zero versus Nothing Human because the new Psalm Zero versus Nothing Human, so Nothing Human is like a brand new project. I only have the two singles out, nothing physical, literally just Bandcamp, and you can see them on my channel. There's the two singles from Nothing Human, and then Psalm Zero, of course, has been around for a while, but there's the brand new LP Sparta, right? The reason I want to talk about them both at the same time is because they really represent these two streams of what I have going on aesthetically, emotionally, and intellectually, because there are sort of foundations in a way. There's definitely some philosophy going on with the sort of underlying things that they're dealing with lyrically and just vibe-wise. So, but they're kind of foils for each other. These kind of two streams that kind of complement each other. And I kind of want to talk about both of them because it's like if you just checked out one and then you checked out the other, you'd be like, what exactly is this guy's deal? There might be some confusion about where my heart is at. So as far, you could almost call the new Psalm Zero versus Nothing Human, you could almost call it warm versus cold. The Psalm Zero is way warmer than Nothing Human, and the thing is, the new Psalm Zero, it's warmer than anything that Psalm Zero has done. The old Psalm Zero was largely me, in collaboration with guitar player Andrew Hawk. One of the biggest pieces of shit in the entire music scene, but whatever. It's not even gonna. That's not for now. But yeah, a lot of that was very cold music. What I was going through was very cold, mind freezing, soul freezing shit. And from the start, that concept when I formed that thing, and the reason why I brought him in partially was that I wanted to do some cold-blooded shit. And the drum machine was part of that. So now we've got Keith Abrams on the drums. He's not like a regular member of Psalm Zero now, but he's on the record. And his live drumming is about as human as it gets. Not human in the sense of like a euphemism for sloppy. Keith is anything but sloppy. But he's not a robotic drummer. He's buoyant, springy. His feel is very alive. And yeah, it's human as fuck. There's less industrial elements, less keyboards. So it's got a rock band feel to it. Nothing Human is my full-on electronic project. So that is drum machine. It's not even trying to sound like regular drums. I mean, this is, really electronic music. And it is actually sort of a lot colder. Now, the thing, it's not just a sound thing, because the attitudes that I'm putting out there with Psalm Zero versus Nothing Human are kind of they're almost completely different attitudes, perspectives, but they're responding to some of the same stuff. Now, Nothing Human, okay, that is a pretty, if you know the work of Nick Land, you probably catch that reference. Nothing Human refers to his quote from back in the day. Nothing human makes it out of the near future. So he's talking about post-humanism, transhumanism, at the very least, I mean, inhumanism. That's not a word, but he's the godfather of acceleration. I mean, people, either you know all this stuff about him or you don't know anything about him. But anyway, yeah. So that nothing human is dealing with a lot of that acceleration-related worldview, which, if you don't know, it's basically a hyper-pessimistic view of what capitalism is and what it is doing to us and what it will inevitably do to us. It has a sort of apocalyptic quality of the human as such is being torn apart by capitalism and techno-capital, and let's just speed this shit forward and just get it over with. You know what I mean? And that's essentially, as far as I understand it, that's the crudest version of what acceleration is about, okay? Now, so nothing human is very much that. So we'll return to that. Sparta, on the other hand, the new Psalm Zero record, for whatever darkness is on there, it's really a humanist album. I say human constantly through the lyrics. You know how I get like obsessed with these things and I just repeat the same words all the time. I can't help it. It's just this like, my girlfriend was saying, is like, dude, you say the same lyrics in like 10 songs. I'm like, I can't, I get obsessed. But yeah, so, but like Sparta, the new Psalm Zero, Sparta, I mean, that's got some of the lyrics on there that's like the most touchy-feely, humanist, almost hippie-ish stuff I can't believe I'm even saying. But now that I'm saying it, I'm really feeling it, at least in those songs. I mean, I literally say, what about love? Like, literally that line. I mean, that's like, if you told me a couple of years ago that I would say, what about love in a song, I'd be like, like, that's fucking cringe. But I like cringe. Sometimes. It depends. Yeah, so, right. So, but the thing is, they're both kind of responding to some of the same stuff. Whereas, like, the new Psalm Zero is checking out Land and also checking out Moldbug. Either you know everything about Moldbug or you know nothing about him. No one knows a little bit about Moldbug. So it's like, yeah, some people might find it pretty distasteful that I even read him. But come with me on my journey and give me the benefit of the doubt here. Some of, he's not so much an acceleration guy, but neo-reaction, right? He's a full-on reactionary. So also anti-humanist, not necessarily technological, post-human, transhuman, but very, like, against the idea of humanism, humanity, brotherly love, equality, against democracy. All of that stuff that you would call humanism, he's very much against. He thinks it's a religious myth and that it's on the way out. He may be right about where things are going, but just as far as how I feel about things, it's really when it comes to that that reactionary, like, when it both Nothing Human and Psalm Zero, I'm processing Moldbug and I'm processing Land, processing the accelerationist, anti-humanist, post-humanist, transhumanist thing, processing the reactionary, anti-humanist, anti-democratic, anti-equality thing, but I'm processing them pretty much on completely opposite levels, in opposite ways. With Nothing Human, those lyrics and the whole aesthetic and the vibe is very much submitting. It's sort of fatal. It's like, yeah, just take me. Just fucking take me. Get it over with. We're done. People are done. What the human is done. Just liquidate me, us, this. And it's sincere in those feelings. And when it comes to the new Psalm Zero, it's I'm really almost checking that stuff out and almost digging my heels in with humanism on another level of just being like, yeah, you know what, maybe humanism is just some pussy ass, like, sort of Protestant derived, aesthetic religious conceit, maybe we are all equal, maybe that's all just for cucks or whatever, but I like that, man. What about love, what about humanity, what about my friends? Like, it's very yeah, it's sort of reactionary against reactionary, but kind of processing it, you know what I mean? Kind of being like, yeah, like reading Moldbug and being like, I know, dude, I get it, but really, like, you don't like John Coltrane, you don't like A Love Supreme, like that means nothing to you. It's just robots and IQ scores and capitalism, like that's really it. That's what, you know what I mean? So that's and yeah, it came out that way in the new Psalm Zero. Maybe partially because of the warmth of the music. Well, it's connected with the warmth of the music, the sort of. I mean, it's still dark. I mean, you'll hear it. It's still dark, but there's a romantic nature to quality to it that was previously not a thing. And maybe it has to do with my falling out with fucking Hawk. Maybe it's just like, I don't know, like our collaboration was just, there's just such a coldness. 2012 to 2016, man, it was. I just felt like this chill go through me. It hadn't become political yet. It hadn't become global in my perception yet. It was still just personal, but just this wave of just personal health problems, addiction, just narcissism, just this, yeah. So that was the beginning of Psalm Zero. Was way colder, so it may be just that this new record is like opening up into this warmer thing, but then funneling that Moldbugian, Landian chilliness over to Nothing Human. Thing is, like, I feel both of those things, and this is why it's weird to dabble with these sort of political or pseudo-political thinkers and ideas, because right now everything's not only is everything politicized, but everything's ideological. So like, you start reading Moldbug and you start quoting him in lyrics, I mean, people are just like, what are you fucking like a reactionary? Are you like a techno-fascist? You like a monarchist? Like, the fuck? And no, but since I'm not peddling ideology, I'm peddling questions and emotions and feelings, it can go to this very reactionary, right-wing acceleration type place where it's just like, fucking take me. And, I'm going to talk more about this, the Nothing Human side of it. I'm going to be talking more about that in the future. I'm actually working on this essay that's going to address specifically some things going on in Nothing Human, because the song God of Nature, by the way, that's another neo-reactionary trope, God of Nature. Just check it out, it's dark. But that song in particular gets into this intersection of experiences that I've had with addiction and the way that the addiction intersects with these inhuman, post-human, transhuman ideas from Land, and it deals with this sort of unraveling of the human, unraveling of human agency, of human integrity, sovereignty, of the body, of being able to act on the world, a sense of an interiority and exteriority being rendered not different. The inside and outside being no separation, this continuum of the organic and the inorganic. This is all very Landian stuff. Nick Land is obsessed with the idea of the outside, and addiction is in many ways a being pulled toward the outside and being opened up into the outside. So I'm writing like a worked out essay about these experiences on the Nothing Human side of things, like that song God of Nature, what that deals with. So that'll be coming out maybe like later in the year or something. But yeah, on a more self-advertising level, check out both of these things. Check out the new Psalm Zero, check out Nothing Human. You're going to see the two sides of where I'm at. And yeah, it's almost like woke versus based, It's like the new Psalm Zero is semi-woke shit, and Nothing Human is kind of based. It's all based, man. It's all based, YouTube. Anyway, Thanks for coming with me on this journey. You're only really on the journey if you actually buy the shit and pay money on Bandcamp or buy the vinyl. Do it. Like I say, cred and dopamine don't keep the lights on, alright? So, alright. Thank you. I'm going on tour with KO Dot soon. Psalm Zero KO Dot tour. So, yeah, I may air this while I'm on the road already, but we're gonna be doing some live streaming shit from the van. It's gonna be a good time. So, all right, talk soon.